Hello and welcome, dear students. This is the learning target for the week beginning from 29th of August and ending by with 2nd of September 2021. It is for grade 11 for the subject English, and it includes science, commerce, and the humanities stream. The weekdays are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The dates are 29th of August, 30th of August, 31st of August, 1st of September, and 2nd of September. The topics that are allocated for this week are mostly writing, that is, notice writing, writing letter of complaint, letter of inquiry, writing, composing a letter of complaint, and then grammar in general towards the end of the week. The lesson objectives is actually to identify the main components of the format of a notice, and to determine two or more pieces of information and the use of passive voice in writing key details and then summarizing it. It is expected that you should be able to identify the main idea of a topic that is in writing. You should be able to select the choice of language, that is mostly passive voice. There are different formats. You should be able to select the formats of writing, whether it is a narrative format or the bullet point format. It is very clearly stated by the CBSE that the narrative format is expected of the students, because that is where the language can be judged. With bullet points, it might be a format, but if there the language cannot be judged. So this specification has come from the CBSE, and the writing formats, those are selected from the revised curriculum for term 1 as per the CBSE curriculum. And the learning outcome is that it is expected that most of you will be able to identify the components, and quite a few of you will be able to determine two or more aspects and use passive voice in writing, and then you will be able to summarize it as and when required. Of course, narrative and explanation will be provided. The lesson structure is that we begin with KWL, what we know, what I want to know, and what I have learned so far. At the end of the lesson, you may refer to video lessons for notices, or you may research on the internet. It is expected that you bring your device with you. Then it is questioning, probing, that is the action that is expected of you is response to reading. When you're looking for information, you should be able to extract information, and when you are asked questions, you should be able to respond to questions. And probing is that when the certain questions are asked in a series, you should be able to give if, why, and why not for your selection. Then, using the rubrics, you are expected to self-assess, because during the pandemic, we are not exchanging notebooks and engaging in peer evaluation. And then the task related to the skill that you're expected to write a proper notice, and accordingly frame a question that can be exchanged or given to your friends as homework or assignment. It is expected that you deduce certain values, and you narrate it related to national agenda parameters, that is reading across the curriculum, reading beyond the curriculum, critical thinking, and identifying the use of notice in our day-to-day life, like how does it help, and the big question, and narrating it to the big question, that is, why are you studying notice writing, how does it help you in your day-to-day life. Then the next day we write a letter of complaint. It is the choice of language that is expected of you, the format, the business letter, or is it a formal letter? How does it differ, or are they the same? You are also expected to find out. Use internet for looking at certain samples, bringing certain samples to the class, and sharing that in the class, and then selecting the language used in sample letters. That will definitely help you write a letter of complaint. Next day we have the letter of inquiry. Letter of inquiry is usually to find out certain information, and when you want to find out additional information. And how does it do, the big question is, how does it differ from the letter of complaint? When you're writing a letter of complaint on the previous day, how does it differ, the letter of inquiry differ? Is it the same kind of formal or business letter, or is it maybe different? In what nature is it different? This difference is to be established during this particular lesson. And towards the end of the lesson, you will definitely be composing a letter of complaint, and what choice is for the appropriate for letter of complaint, and how is that choice of letter of complaint applicable for a letter of inquiry. This is where you need to find out and deduce and establish the difference between the two. Then on the following day again there is a letter of complaint, because in between when you have already done a letter of complaint, a letter of inquiry, you should be able to identify and select the appropriate language. Over here the task is also, the onus is on the students. The students can bring in a situation, or we can select situation from literature and write a letter of complaint based on it. The objectives are, the skill that is built across the week is more or less similar, but over here for letter of complaint we have an additional, that is linking ideas, use of transitional words, sequence markers, linkers and connectors to be used across the categories of information that you have used to build your argument regarding the complaint. And then using words and phrases and clauses, so especially in contrast, especially in writing. So you should be able to, and it is expected that most of you will be able to use it, because it is quite a necessary part of the language which you have already learned. So it is now applying it in a developmental form in writing. And then you should be able to explain and cite examples. The lesson structure remains more or less similar. If you bring certain samples, you can bring it and share it in the class, and you can take down certain pointers or choice of language used in writing. And how what adds fluency? It is usually the transitional words. There's a video on transitional words. You may refer that also for your writing. On Thursdays we have grammar. For grammar we there are quite a number of video lessons already selected and uploaded for you. We will be referring the CBSE curriculum and selecting the grammar which the students prefer doing it first, and order it into what you already know towards the last. So this is definitely a student's domain where you will decide what grammar you would like to do on a particular day. This will be decided during the beginning part of the week, so that we have got ample resources collected by the students by the end of the week. And you will be able to use, it is expected that you are able to use that part of grammar in your context in writing, and maybe filling clauses. With this, you're expected to kindly like this video, so that this gets added up to your liked videos. You are able to refer this throughout the week and copy down objectives from here. At the end of every lesson, it is expected that you write a dirt, that is dedicated in improvement of reflective thinking. There is a video for that also, maintenance of notebooks. Kindly refer that. That is expected at the end of each and every lesson. With this, we have come to the end of the video. Thank you very much for your kind attention.